All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning the truth 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, servants, scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere in your children, shalom. And in today's video, as you see, is going to be another video from the Brother of the Hopeful Elect 3, just basically touching on the mind state of the current people here in Babylon the Great, man, how these people are suffering. You know, people are not getting by, you know, things are getting worse financially wise for these people, you know, and that's ultimately going into, because we know this place, America, is falling, man. You know, the economic collapse is on the horizon, you know, because we know ultimately that everything in this system is going down, ultimately for them to bring forth that new system, man. So that's why we see everything in this economy getting worse. Or, you know, people getting laid off from all of these jobs, all of these different things that just continue to keep happening and plaguing this place, right? And it's only going to get worse, you know. But I'm going to get into this video, you know, and we basically going to hear what it is the people saying, and I'm going to get a few precepts, and Lord's willing to be edifying, you know, just a quick hit through the spirit. All right, but I'm going to start this video. But before I start, I want to say fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. Not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only.
Or am I just going to keep struggling for the rest of my damn life? Paycheck to paycheck. Something's going to have to give. That's all I can say.
This cost of living crisis is really costing the living being me. Everything is so expensive. The way bills have risen is out of hand. And then there's unexpected emergencies and unexpected costs that still happen because that's what adulthood looks like. I'm at capacity. I'm literally choosing between my mental health or paying all my bills. And paying my bills is winning because I need to...
And it's funny because, you know, we tell the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you know, this all the time, that this place Babylon the Great, America is not your rest, man. So that's ultimately why, you know, a lot of our people in this society, you know, they contend to suffer and, you know, go through a lot of afflictions and things of that nature. But we tell these people all the time that, you know, this place America is your oppression, you know, that we're in captivity in this place, you know, and we're not, you know, brought over here to America or any of these other states or countries where you have Israelites at, that we wasn't brought over here to ultimately, you know, to succeed or to get by, you know, and things of that nature. So I'm going to get this precept right here. This is Micah 2:10. It said, arise ye and depart, right? That's talking about departing from this place spiritually, you know, mentally, you know, and our people don't want to do that. You know, they love this place, America, Britain, the UK, wherever they're at, where Jake is in the world. They love their oppression, man. They love their oppressor. They don't want to leave from these ways, man. They want to continue to suffer, going to jobs, not getting paid a lot, you know, having to suffer and be on the bottom. This is Jake mindset, man. The average, you know, Latino, Native American Indian or Negro in America, you know, man or woman, you know, that's their mind. They don't want to be saved. They just want to continue to struggle, man. Right? It said, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction, man. And that's talking about America, Babylon the Great, but also these other places where you have a lot of Israelites at that, you know, they're being ran over by these Edomites, man. You know, this place is not our rest, man. You know, it's only going to destroy you, man. That's why you see a lot of our people just, you know, going along to get along with everything that's happening in the world. You know, they just, you know, go along with whatever they see happening. You know, they ultimately know that they're working for nothing and that they're being oppressed. But, hey, these people just love it, man. You know, and this is Haggai chapter 1, verse 6, just another precept touching on that. You know, it goes into ye have so much, right? That's going into time and energy, you know, being at these jobs, these businesses that, you know, Jake and Eve works at. You know, they sow a lot of time and energy, you know, to try to get to a higher position in a job of a company or whatever it may be that they have their mind set for, right? It says, and bring in little, right? You bring in little, man. You working all of these different hours and putting in all of this different type of effort and time to, you know, get to a certain level in your life, and you never really get there, man. Right? Going back to what I read in Micah 2:10, because this place is not your rest, man. That's why you're not going to never reach that level that you want to reach in this place, America, man, because it's not set up for you to reach that, especially those of the tribes, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, man, especially the males, right? But it says, ye eat, but ye have not enough, right? Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes, right? And that's talking about when you get paid, going into what the Edomite said, or he could have been a Jake, but, he looked like a so-called Edomite. In the beginning of the video, he said, he basically go to work. And once he go to work, his money is gone because guess what? You have to pay bills. That's how it happens, man. Every time it comes to the time of you getting ready to ultimately get paid, you got to pay a bill. Whether it's a light bill, a water bill, a gas bill, a car note, it's just always something you got to do. So it's basically like you're not even working to get money. You really just working to keep on paying Esau Edom, man. To keep on paying this devil to ultimately to keep allowing you to have the benefits and the little things that he gives you, man. But you're really just working for nothing, basically. And we know ultimately we got to work, of course, because as the scripture says, if you don't work, you don't eat, But still, this place isn't our rest, first and foremost. So I'm going to get back into this video just so we can hear what it is she's saying.
Like, it's too much.
Now, you can argue, you can say to us, well, hang on a moment, Liz. All young people have to do is, work harder and save more. And my argument to them, and this makes me very, very cross, my argument goes, with what?
Yeah, but avocado toast, Liz.
Exactly. Now, what my report says on that table is that we need to understand that younger generations are just incapable of saving because they're having to set so much money aside on essentials, and that is housing, utilities, energy bills, and the cost of living. And this report says that the average under 30s household is having to set aside 70% of their weekly expenditure on essential spending.
Is it just me right now who is just so terrified for their kids? Like, I'm pretty sure that, 20, 30 years ago, our parents didn't think that life would be this hard for us with the cost of living. And I think it's getting to a point now where people are...
Right, and you basically just get a gist of what it is. You see people complaining. And this is all around the world, man. This is just not here in America, man. This is happening in the UK, France, Britain, wherever you have Israelites at or wherever you have other people at. In general, just everybody's mourning and suffering, man. And this is what happens when ultimately you have Esau Edom, right? The so-called white man, the devil in power, man. This is what you get. A lot of, people that are, that's mourning, And that's why I'm going to get this precept right here. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, right? That's talking about when our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach returns and ultimately establishes the kingdom of heaven upon earth, and this world get ran and governed in righteousness. Even the heathens are going to rejoice in captivity, of course, but they're still going to be rejoicing because the world won't be in the hands of the wicked, right? It says, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And this is what you see, man. When you have a wicked ruler that's ruling over the people in the world, everybody is disappointed. Everybody is in an uproar. Everybody is complaining, nobody's happy. Everybody's miserable. And this is why we know we're coming to the end of Esau Edom's rulership, man.
Actually really struggling, especially families. The amount of children that people are having now is obviously on the decline because people just can't afford it. And there are plenty of families out there who also need government assistance, which absolutely baffles my mind because how can a 2-person wage family not be able to survive in this day and age? It just seems absolutely ludicrous. And if you think again, in another 20 or 30 years' time, how hard is it going to be for our children? At the minute, I'm trying to save as much as I can for Isla and her future. But there's going to be a point of where what I'm doing is not even touching the sides, isn't there? Because, everything obviously inflates, and I understand that. But, there are plenty of people now who are staying...
And that's what a lot of these people don't understand, because a lot of these people, they don't know prophecy. They don't know the scriptures, So they ultimately don't understand that the reason that a lot of these things are ultimately happening is because, ultimately we're at the end of Esau Edom being in power, man. That's why things are getting worse around the world for a lot of these different countries, and people are not, things going for them as well as they used to because we're coming to the end of this system, man. Those elites, are trying to establish their digital society, man, around the world. That's why I tell you in Revelation 13 and 16, he calls it all, right, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads. That's why you're not just seeing the people in America mourning. You're seeing this worldwide with people, right, because these elites is trying to set up that new world order, man. And that's what we see everything pushing towards. So That's why you're going to have more people complaining about getting laid off from jobs. You're going to have more people talking about they just can't, make it in life and stuff like that, because ultimately this is all going towards that agenda of that CHIP being made mandatory, because ultimately what Esau wants to do is, ultimately he see everybody is complaining. People are not getting by, and things of that nature. And guess what? He's going to come in like being a savior like he always tries to do, right? And what he's going to implement is that chip, man. And he's going to tell people, well, we'll give you this and that if you just do this, And a lot of people, you can see the frustration, how they're mourning, how they're complaining. They're fed up. And that's what he's going to do. That's what he wants to see the people ultimately do so he can come in with his chip, man. And a lot of these people are going to take it, man. Because a lot of people are not going to work. A lot of people are going to want to receive benefits and things of that nature. They're going to want to make things more easier for themselves. So they're going to take that chip, man. And that's what we see everything leading up to ultimately. And matter of fact, I'm going to go to that precept. Because this is literally what everything is pushing up towards. The MOTB being made mandatory. That's why this thing is happening worldwide with a lot of economies are collapsing. Because we know that that's the whole agenda of these elites, man, to bring forth that new world order. And they're going to put this chip upon everybody. They're going to force it upon everybody. People in the UK, people in Britain, people in Spain, no matter where you are in the world, man, this chip is going to come across you, man, And that's the ultimate goal. So that's why you ultimately see a lot of these people complaining and, just losing it, because ultimately they don't know what everything is ultimately moving towards, which is this digital system, man. So it's almost like he's going out with the old and in with the new, man. That's why everything is failing. This place, America, Babylon the Great, is collapsing. It's getting worse and worse. The people here are mourning more and more about how things are unfair, how they're working for nothing and things of that nature. And like I said, that's going to get Esau the time to come in with that chip, right? Like I said, is a problem, reaction, solution. He creates the problem, right? Shutting down all of these businesses, all of these jobs, all of these ways that these people have to make their income and things of that nature. Then he sees how the people react, which is what you see happening now. The people are frustrated. They're losing their temper. They're, mad and angry at the system. And then he's going to come in with that solution, man, right? That solution going to be that chip, right? This is Revelation 13-16. And it said, and he causeth all, right, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, right, their charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? And that's what everything is leading up towards, man. That's why ultimately these people don't understand why everything is getting worse, man, because they're getting ready to do away with this system that these people are currently used to, which is the cash system, and they're about to bring in that digital one. So that's why it's continuing to get worse for this place, America, man, and the people that are ultimately in this place, and people that are worldwide as well.
Like, there are plenty of people now who are staying with their mum and dads for up until their 30s at least, just so they can afford to get a house. And of course, I do anything I possibly can to help Isla, but I don't know if what I'm doing is going to be enough. Does anybody else feel like that, or is it just me? Like, I just feel so terrified for the way that.
Yep. And you see what the woman has said. She said she basically feels terrified about, not being able to make it in the near future. And that's why we tell you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians to repent and to turn back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, because it's only going to get worse, man. Like I said, the inflation, people not being able to afford groceries and their mortgages and their house bills and stuff like that people is going through in these different countries, mainly here in America, but in other countries abroad as well. It's only going to get worse for you people, man. And that's what you people don't understand, because this is all moving towards Esau Edom's New World Order, man. And he wants you people to be bugging out, ultimately losing your cool and not, knowing what to do and things of that nature, like I said before, so he can come in as that knight in shining armor with that chip, man. And a lot of you people are going to take it because, like this woman in the video is saying, they don't know what they're going to do, right? And Esau is going to come in with that solution, like, yeah, here, take this chip. You want to not struggle anymore. You want to get free benefits. You want to get cash every week for free, just sitting around not working. All right, take this chip. And that's what a lot of people is going to do. That's why us brothers and sisters in this truth, we don't try to store up treasures upon this place, America, man. We store up treasures in the heavens, Because that's really what's more important than anything, especially now at this time. And I'm going to get that precept. This is St. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. It said, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, right? So we're just daily grateful for the daily bread that Yahweh Shem Yahushua ultimately gives us to be able to make it through the day. You know, we have food to eat, we have water, long as the lights are on and things of that nature. That's okay with us. We're not trying to, you know, store up treasures upon this place, you know, like storing up money so you can take care of your kids and generational wealth and all of these different types of things that these people's minds is focused on, because they don't realize that all of that stuff is about to fail, man. Right? That's why these people are going to bug out when all hell breaks loose, because they're trying to store up everything upon this place in this world, not knowing that it's about to crash right before their eyes, man. Right? This is St. Matthew 6 and 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, right? For you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, right? Where neither moth nor rust does corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. So that's what you really want to be storing up in these times, brothers and sisters. Don't be worrying about trying to get in a high position in your job and making it in Babylon and, you know, living good and luxurious and trying to build a name and all of the things that the people in the world are focused on. No, because they don't know that this place is about to come down crashing like a ton of bricks. But we're focusing on spiritual things, man, building up our credit in the spiritual realm. That's what us brothers and sisters need to be doing first and foremost, you know, trying to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua to the best of our abilities, and ultimately, you know, storing up those spiritual riches, you know, so that in the time that are to come, the Lord can have mercy upon us, man, right? And this is verse 21. It said, for where your treasure is, there will your heart, meaning your mind, be also, right? And a lot of people's mind, their place is stuck in this place, America, man. Modern day Egypt, you know, 2/3 of our people and these other heathens, man. So they're not going to know what to do when all hell begins to break loose, when this world as they know it begin to turn upside down and it starts to get worse, man. They're not going to know what to do. All right. And I'm going to get this precept. This is Isaiah chapter 31. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, right? Talking about you Israelites, man. And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, right? That's you people trusting in this place, Babylon, the great America. You know, you see Esau giving you all of these jobs, all of these different types of positions at these companies. You think in this place, America is the greatest country on earth. You think it's never going to fail, even though it's crumbling right in front of your eyes. But a lot of you people don't believe this place is going to crumble. You think this place is going to stand strong forever. And that's not the truth, man. And that's what a lot of you people is about to realize, right? And it says, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Talking about you Israelites, man. You know, you people worrying about, you know, making it in this place, America, worrying about your job, paying your mortgages, getting your food stamps back. You people are worrying about everything else other than turning back to the Lord, man. So that's why the Lord is going to bring these evils upon you people, man, for not seeking after him, right? And matter of fact, I'm going to get that as well. This is Jeremiah, right? Chapter 17. And I'm going to start at verse 5. And I'm going to read it in the KJV. It says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, cursed be the man or the woman that trusteth in man and make of flesh his arm, right? Which that arm goes into strength. So our people are making Esau their strength, man. They solely depend upon this man. They depend upon him from everything, for food, for water, for necessities. I mean, we all do to a certain extent, but we know that our trust and our hope is in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We're not putting our entire hope inside of this man's system, you know, that we know is about to fail. No, we're not doing it, you know. And it said, whose heart, right, meaning his mind, departed from the Lord. And that's what you Israelites have done, man. You have departed your minds, right, away from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because you love your enemy, man. You love this man's system. You love this illusion that he have painted unto you about this place, America, being the greatest country on the world, and thinking that it's not going to come to its end, man. Which is what we see happening right in front of our eyes, man. The end of this place, America. You know? So that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Lord's willing to be edifying. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.